Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Now at 5:30, Lexington fire crews battling a large fire this morning. We'll hear from neighbors and what they say they saw.
Live from the scene of that in just a bit. Also on WKYT This Morning, UK police looking at security footage right now after a group of men fired several shots on campus last night.
And two Kentucky towns may soon become one thanks to a referendum. These stories and breaking news as it happens coming up on WKYT This Morning.
Well, good morning. It's so good to have you with us. Hope you had a great weekend, and it's off and running here the new week. It's Monday. We'll make the best of it. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. What a game on Saturday.
Wasn't it, though? A big win for Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know, that's huge, really, to get back on the winning track in the SEC. And South Carolina coming up. We'll get them. Let's check in right now with meteorologist Micah Harris. He is our First Alert Weather Center. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, Lee K. Howard was talking about in sports over 1,000 days since we have won a SEC game. That's incredible. So kudos to the coaches, kudos to not only the players, but the fan base for sticking around and making some big support there at a Commonwealth Stadium. 61 there in Richmond, 60 in London. We're going to do it again this weekend, South Carolina. Bet on it, okay? You heard it here first. 80 degrees this afternoon. Slight chance of rain here and there. As we go throughout the rest of the week looks pretty good until late week. And that's a big blast of cool air coming on in. See the 61 this morning? That could be our highs as we hit toward Friday and Saturday. It's incredible, and I'll show you those numbers coming up.
Thank you. Leading our news right now, scary moments on the University of Kentucky campus late last night as police combed the area looking for a group of men who fired shots near a dorm.
Police did not find the shooters, but they cleared the area right after midnight to look for them. WKYT's Mark Barber is live with the latest from where the shots were reported to have been fired. Mark?
Good morning, Bill and Rebecca. Students here on UK South Campus were told to stay inside their dorms while police and canines searched for the shooter. Investigators started their search here at the Kerwin and Blanding complex after students reported hearing 1 to 3 gunshots behind a dorm. Witnesses told police around 10 o'clock last night they heard gunfire coming from a group of 4 to 8 men wearing all black. We're told after the shots were fired, the group scattered in 2 different directions. That's when UK police and Lexington police started searching a nearby construction site for the men.
It's a good partnership between the Lexington police and UK police. We came together very quickly and partnered up, as well as we brought dogs from both agencies out very quickly.
Now, they say they did not find anything, so they gave the students the all clear around midnight. They say at this time they're poring over security footage, trying to track down those shooters that way. Now, the police tell us that the good news this morning is that no one was hurt. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Thank you. Now a story breaking right now.
Lexington fire crews working to put out a fire that started just after 3 o'clock this morning.
The fire started in a 2-story home on Vale Drive that's just off Harrodsburg Road. WKYT's Whitney Wetzel is live from the scene of the fire. Whitney, good morning. Still an active scene there.
Good morning. Right now, firefighters are going back inside the home looking for hot spots. They tell me this fire was very challenging to get under control. It all started around 3 this morning at this home on Vale Drive. And as you can tell from this video, firefighters tell me that there is a lot of damage to the home. They're not sure where the fire started, but flames spread to the garage and attic. They even had to bring in extra crews for more manpower because many of the firefighters were getting fatigued. Now, we don't know how many people were actually inside the home when the fire first broke out, but firefighters tell us the people who live inside are the ones who called 911 and reported this fire. They do believe there were some children living inside the home, but everyone was able to get out safely. Listen to this neighbor who woke up to the sound of fire trucks.
I thought to myself, are they all out of the house? Is everybody out? They have quite a few kids over there, and I was wondering if the children were all out. They were all real sweet kids, and I see them go up and down here on rollerblades all the time. And I was so glad everybody was out.
Now, at this point, no injuries have been reported. Firefighters tell me they'll likely be here well into the daylight hours. Investigators are also on scene here trying to figure out where this fire started. We're live in Lexington. Whitney Wetzel, WKYT.
Well, a fire that started at a flower shop in Williamsburg ended up damaging several businesses. Officials at the Williamsburg Fire Department say the fire started on Main and 2nd Street. in the Williamsburg flower shop. It also damaged the Masonic Lodge nearby, and the whole block suffered smoke damage. The fire knocked out power in the building. The state fire marshal's office will be investigating this today.
A Corbin woman has been indicted on charges that she purposely exposed several people to hepatitis C at a hospital. Police arrested 29-year-old Tiffany Myers early this month after she forcefully removed an IV unit from her arm at the Knox County Hospital, knowing that she suffers from hepatitis C. Police say she purposely slung her infected blood across the room, potentially exposing officers and medical personnel. One nurse reports having blood land in her eye.
Well, 2 people are facing several charges after police busted a meth lab in Laurel County. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says they used a search warrant to investigate the house south of London. In the house, they found guns along with 7 one-step meth labs and also a generator, a few other items used for manufacturing and distributing meth. Police arrested 50-year-old Danny Johnson and 45-year-old Florence Sweeney. Both are facing multiple charges, including manufacturing methamphetamine and drug trafficking.
Police are still investigating a shooting at a Miami nightclub that injured 15 people over the weekend. Some of those victims were children, one of which was only 11 years old. The shooting happened Saturday night at a club that had just started hosting parties for teenagers on the weekends. 7 of the 15 injured were taken to an area hospital, and police say the victims are improving.
Well, 2 central Kentucky towns could become one if a referendum is passed in Estill County. The ballot is proposing the merge of the towns of Ravenna and Irvin. Since they already share a border and Kentucky 52, leaders say the move could benefit to everyone in the towns. But there are pros and cons to both sides.
I have pros and cons. It can be good one way, and then I really don't know, so it's pros and cons.
And the mayor there says the topic has come up in conversation before, but this is the first time it's been on the ballot. She says this time the idea started in Irvin's city leadership back in 2013. If the voters in both towns approve the merger, the governments in each town will keep operating independently for about a year.
An interesting election to watch there. Well, for several weeks, people across Corbin prayed for a newborn's health. They rallied around little Ozzie and his family, and now a congregation is building a playground in his name. Ozzie Fakowski was born with congenital heart disease. In June, he lost his fight against it. And last week, the family's pastor announced plans to memorialize Ozzie at their church. They're building a playground in his honor right next to the church.
And anybody that sees this playground, anybody that plays on it, that's a part of it, they're going to remember what Ozzie represented.
The Children's Heart Foundation says congenital heart disorders like Ozzie's are the most common birth defect in the United States. If you would like to donate to Ozzie's Play Place, you'll find a link to our story and how to do that at WKYT.com.
A Lexington church celebrated its 225th birthday over the weekend. Worshippers at the First United Methodist Church celebrated the major milestone. The church was one of the first Methodist churches in the entire country.
What distinguishes us over the centuries is the churches that we have started and the people who have been called into ministry out of our pews. We are the mother church for over 8 other Methodist churches. 5 of our ministers have gone on to be elected as bishops in the Methodist Church.
Mayor Jim Gray was also there and attending the service.
Well, after a busy weekend, Kentucky Kingdom is now closed for the season. The amusement park is shutting down to start millions of dollars worth of additions. Kentucky Kingdom managers say the park's success after spending the last 4 years shut down led to their plan to add 5 new attractions. In all, they'll be worth around $30 million.
Oh, I'm ready for it. Be back here next year, too.
Hopefully, them adding new rides will create more business for them.
Season pass prices are not changing. They go on sale on November 1st for $60. The park will reopen on April 11th of 2015. I think they had over 600,000 visitors this year.
Wow,
so,
that's something, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, it's really a comeback for Kentucky Kingdom. Time this morning is 5:40 on WKYT This Morning.
All right, a look at Nicholasville and Shady Lane looking clear. Not hearing of any issues out there. Not too many cars, really, on the roads.
Live drive traffic looking good in the Lexington area. Reminder that in Richmond, they began a major construction project today on Main Street, blocking part of Main Street for a major drainage project there to benefit the Water Street area. And so Main Street is going to be closed for some time to come. We'll get you some additional details on that this morning. 5:41 now, and we have a lot more news coming up here on your Monday morning.
One California man wants to bring a new sport to schools across America. Find out how he's trying to get schools involved in rock climbing up next.
Which is actually a very, very tough exercise. So I'm all for it. Right there in the 50s and 60s, feels pretty good outside. It's actually mild across the way. And we stay that way the next several days until we hit late weekend. Big blast of cold air. You heard about this weekend, and I'll show you what it looks like now, coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris and First Alert Defender.
Well, hope everybody had a great weekend, and we actually had a pretty nice weekend. There were a couple of showers down toward the southeast late yesterday, but other than that, most of us stayed dry. There's a couple of showers to the north there in Mason County, and work your way down toward the far southeastern zones in the mountainous regions, but you're talking about a few sprinkles here and there. Look at your temperatures in the 60s. It's a really good feel outside. And look, as we go throughout the afternoon, things will pretty much be the same as what we saw this weekend. Both days, Saturday and Sunday, actually landed there in the lower 80s. And it looks like today will do that. So if you're heading home, maybe for lunch, maybe going out with some friends there for a nice little lunch, sitting there in the 70s. It will stay mostly dry, too, so I don't see much happening there at noontime. By the afternoon, right there in the lower 80s again today. So this will be the third, maybe even fourth consecutive days we're there in the lower 80s. The good news here is you're not going to have full-blown sunshine. You'll have a few clouds here and there, and that'll kind of make it feel a little bit better outside. So that warm air is out ahead of our next big system, and our big system is coming. It's just how low are we going to go with those temperatures? That's kind of the question. But you can see as we approach that Friday time frame, that cool air funnels on in, and once that happens, you'll really see it just kind of hang tight throughout the next couple of days after that, off towards your weekend. There's your look Saturday. You got any events going on, any festivals? Some really cool air. I mean, we're talking about temperatures there in the upper 50s, lower 60s for highs, not your lows. What you're feeling outside right now, yeah, that's pretty much what you're going to be feeling there for highs toward the afternoon. Keep those coats handy because overnight and into Sunday morning, talking about possible 30s. Incredible. Check this picture out. This Friday night football down at McCreary Central High School. Tammy Starrett sent that one in. And then we got another good-looking shot. Nancy Goley, Lake Carnico. That's in Carlisle there in Nicholas County. So people are getting out, doing a lot of things. Festivals were going on, fishing going on, a lot of football. It's just beautiful weather. We've been very blessed with this weather the past week or two. Going in toward this week, it still looks really nice. It'll be slightly warm there in the lower 80s, but at least we're dry, right? Heading in toward Thursday, you got any plans going on there? It should be late in the day. Talking late afternoon off into the evening hours when it starts to move on in. And then it lasts throughout Friday, which you'll see showers maybe if you rumbles the thunder. But those are your temperatures you got to look at. Bam, 72 Friday, Saturday at 61. These are your highs. And look at the screen if you're not paying attention to the screen. If you're cooking or whatnot, getting ready, look at Saturday night into Sunday morning. Check that out. 39 degrees. That is going to be a chilly start to the weekend there on Saturday and Sunday. Going off to church that morning, you will need your coats. Don't put them away just yet. At least have one on standby this time of year because you know these cool blasts come flying in here. They don't typically sit around for a long period of time, but it does look like we're going to hang on to some pretty chilly air this week.
It sure does.
That's really cold. About 20 degrees below average.
Get ready for that, right?
Yep.
Just a quick additional piece of information on that situation over in Richmond, where will be at 7 this morning. They'll be blocking Main Street, and that will be the case until October 24th. So major construction project over there, and it'll be between Madison Avenue and Collins Street. All right, a California man wants every school in America to embrace a new sport.
Chris Belize wants schools to buy rock climbing walls for students. Since it's not a cheap sport, he's actually started a nonprofit to raise money. It's called Achieva Climbing, and he's raising paying $8,000 to finish his first wall and get insured. He says it will improve the health and focus of students. He says it will even increase graduation rates because it teaches positive risk-taking. Some schools in California already have the walls.
Okay, we'll see how that goes, and it's good to have you with us on WKYT this morning.
Coming up, you'll get the stories making news right now.
We'll check traffic again, see how things are moving along. We have health news and what's hot on the web and social media. Our top stories at the top of the hour on WKYT. Good morning. Our time 5:52 on WKYT this morning.
Let's take a look now at some of the stories we're working on at this hour.
Lexington fire crews have been out battling a fire at a home on Vale Drive for several hours this morning. This is off Harrodsburg Road. It started around 3 o'clock this morning in a very nice home there. Firefighters say there is extensive damage. While they're not sure where the fire started within the home, they say it spread to the garage and to the attic. It was so large that extra crews had to be called in to give other firefighters a break. They say everyone in the home was able to get out safely.
UK police looking through security footage this morning after they say a group of men fired several shots on campus. Investigators started searching at the Kerwin and Blanding complex. They're looking for a group of 4 to 8 men wearing all black.
President Obama says U.S. intelligence agencies underestimated ISIS and overestimated the Iraqi army's ability to fight. The president said in an interview on 60 Minutes last night that the current situation calls for military force to shrink ISIS's capacity, cutting off its funding and stopping the flow of foreign fighters.
The FAA expects improvements today in air travel through Chicago's 2 airports. It's replacing the entire central computer network at the Chicago Area Control Center, where an act of sabotage Friday canceled more than 2,000 flights through the Windy City and disrupted air travel nationwide. Well, the American Academy of Pediatrics is now recommending a different form of birth control for sexually active adolescents.
And they say to get a long-acting reversible contraceptive such as the IUD or under-the-skin implant is a first option for preventing pregnancy. The group says the IUD, which provides 3 to 10 years of protection, has been shown to be safe and effective for young girls.
Researchers say children who are active for at least 60 minutes a day after school are showing positive results. The University of Illinois study looked at more than 200 kids aged 7 to 9 and took brain scans before and after the test. Doctors say children who took part in moderate to vigorous physical activity saw marked improvements in their ability to pay attention and avoid distraction. 5:54 is the time. Let's get a check at this hour on today's traffic trouble spots with a look at live drive traffic. Things moving along pretty good there at I-64 and I-75, the northern split. We do want to mention that starting today in Richmond, US 25 and Kentucky 52 will be blocked in both directions starting in about an hour. Between Collins Street and Madison Avenue in Richmond, the road will be blocked to work on underground services and utility work. The blockages will last until October 24th. And it's time to get a look at live drive traffic, which we just looked at, actually. Sorry, we're not going to repeat that for you. We'll go on to the web now.
Yeah, what I was just going to add is that is Main Street there in Richmond. It's US 2552 by number, but also Main Street right downtown. That major project to start this morning and go through October 24th. Here's what's happening on WKYT.com this morning. Of course, firefighters continuing to try to track down some of the hot spots as they're dealing with this fire that has happened in the overnight hours. And we have details on that on WKYT.com. Also, police have given the all clear this morning after a group of men dressed in all black fired bullets near the Kerwin Blanding complex at UK. It comes after a weekend of gun violence in Lexington. There were at least 4 instances of shots fired in different parts of the city. Now we have more nice weather to enjoy. Fall days ahead for today and tomorrow. Micah says later in the week, though, we'll see a big blast of really chilly air. Those highs and lows coming down. Check out our First Alert weather page for the latest on that. A lot of excitement after Kentucky broke its losing streak in the SEC by beating Vandy Saturday at Commonwealth. The defense played a big role in the win. We have more info about the Cats game as they get set now to take on South Carolina this Saturday in another big home game. On Kentucky.com, John Clay says Steve Spurrier's team looks beatable heading into that game. And so there's details about his article as well. The Chancellor of the UK Medical Center, Peter Bosworth, Farnsworth has died at the age 84, and Jack Brammer looks at the competitive state Senate races, which are coming up as well. CBS This Morning will be following us at 7 with world and national news and our local updates. Join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and for the latest news anytime, WKYT.com. Another really nice morning out there.
Very good looking morning. It's pretty mild too. You won't need a coat this morning as you're taking off. It looks like the interstate, 75, good flow there, Winchester Road. No issues right there on Highway 60. Current temperatures in the 60s, even a couple of 50s down toward the southwest, but all in all, it's still a really good feel. So I don't see any need for some sweaters, long sleeve shirts. Probably won't need that. Monday's forecast 80 by the afternoon, mostly sunny. Slight chance of rain, but a big blast of cold air to come. And I'll show you that forecast coming up with another hour. WKYT News.